What's holding you back from the life you truly want? It's not your circumstances, your past, or even the people around you. It's your mindset. A weak mindset tells you to wait, to settle, to give up when things get hard. It whispers you're not good enough, it's too late, or this is just how it is. But here's the truth. Your mindset is the one thing standing between you and everything you've ever wanted. If you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of making excuses, and tired of watching others succeed while you stay in the same place, it's time to kill your weak mindset. It's time to stop letting fear, doubt, and procrastination control your life and start building the unshakable mindset of a winner. Let's talk about how to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing standing between where you are and where you want to be, it's not your circumstances, your background, or even the economy, it's your mindset. Sue Yue says it isn't about luck or waiting for the right opportunity. It's about developing a mindset that refuses to settle for average, a mindset that doesn't tolerate excuses, and a mindset that sees obstacles as opportunities to grow. You have to eliminate the weak mindset, replace doubt with discipline, fear with faith, and procrastination with persistence. A weak mindset tells you maybe tomorrow. A strong mindset says today, right now. A weak mindset asks, what if I fail? A strong mindset asks, what if I succeed? Success starts with a decision. The decision to think differently, act differently, and expect more from yourself. So today, decide that weakness is no longer an option. Decide that you won't be a prisoner of your past, but the architect of your future. Decide that your mind will serve you, not enslave you. Because the moment you eliminate the weak mindset, that's the moment your life begins to change. Weak thinking blames others. Strong thinking takes control. Your success is in your hands. Winners do what they need to do, whether they feel like it or not. Stop explaining why you can't and start finding ways you can. A weak mind gives up. A strong mind grows stronger with every challenge. You can't build a powerful mindset in a weak environment. Choose your circle wisely. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Use every setback as a setup for a comeback. Learn to endure discomfort, because growth happens outside your comfort zone. What you tell yourself matters. Stop saying I can't and start saying I will. A weak mindset tolerates mediocrity. A strong mindset demands excellence. Eliminate the weak mindset by feeding the strong one through reading, learning, and taking bold action. If there's one thing that separates those who achieve from those who struggle, it's the willingness to take responsibility, not just for the good, not just when things go right, but for everything. Because the moment you take full responsibility for your life, that's the moment you take full control. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to blame circumstances, the economy, the government, or even the people around you. But here's the truth. Until you decide that your life is in your hands, nothing changes. The person who always finds an excuse will always find a struggle. The person who owns their choices will always find a way. It's not what happens to you that determines your future. It's how you respond. Two people can face the same setback. One complains and stays stuck while the other learns, adapts, and moves forward. Same problem, different mindset, different results. Taking responsibility means refusing to wait for someone else to fix your life. It means making adjustments when things aren't working. If your finances aren't where they should be, you learn and improve. If your health is suffering, you take action. If your relationship is struggling, you communicate better. It means recognizing that no matter where you are today, you have the power to change it. Some people say, but you don't understand my situation. Maybe that's true. Maybe life has been unfair. Maybe you face setbacks that weren't your fault, but here's the question, what will you do about it? Because at the end of the day, your future won't be shaped by what's happened to you. It will be shaped by what you choose to do next. Success begins when you stop waiting, stop blaming, and start taking ownership. Because when you take responsibility, you take control. And when you take control, you take the first step toward the life you truly want. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the foundation of every great achievement, every success story, and every breakthrough. Without discipline, dreams remain dreams. Without discipline, potential stays untapped. But with it, you can keep your life into anything you desire. The challenge is discipline isn't always easy. It's easier to hit the snooze button than to wake up early. It's easier to spend money recklessly than to budget and invest. It's easier to skip the workout, avoid the hard conversation, or put off work until tomorrow. But here's the truth. Success isn't built on what's easy, it's built on what's necessary. Self-discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about keeping commitments to yourself, because every time you follow through, you build confidence, and every time you break your word, you weaken your belief in yourself. Some people wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is something you can train. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets, like a muscle. It grows with use. Start small, wake up on time, stick to your schedule, follow through on your promises, build the habit of discipline and the small things, and soon it will carry over into the big things. Discipline isn't about perfection. You'll stumble, you'll have days where you slip up, but discipline is about getting back up. It's about consistency over time, because in the end, success doesn't come from one big action. It comes from the little things you do every single day. Discipline is what separates those who achieve from those who only wish. It's what turns effort into results. And when you master it, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you create. Excuses are easy, they're comfortable, they let you off the hook and give you a reason to stay where you are. But here's the problem. Excuses don't build dreams, excuses don't create success, and excuses don't move you forward. If you want a better life, you have to trade your excuses for execution. It's tempting to justify why things aren't working. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right connections. I wasn't born into the right circumstances. And while those things may be true, they don't have to be a limitation unless you let them. The reality is someone else has faced the same challenge and found a way. Someone else had no money, no connections, no support, and still made it, not because it was easy, but because they refused to accept excuses. The question is, what do you do when you hit a roadblock? Do you look for a way around it, or do you stop and complain? Do you find solutions, or do you settle for reasons why it can't be done? Done because the difference between success and struggle isn't circumstances, it's mindset. Execution means taking action no matter what it means. If you don't know how, you learn. If you don't have the resources, you get creative. If something doesn't work, you adjust. It's about committing to results instead of reasons, because at the end of the day, no one looks back on their life and says, I'm so glad I had great excuses. No, they look back and either feel proud of what they built or regret what they didn't do. The shift is simple but powerful. Stop explaining why you can't, because once you commit to execution, doors open, opportunities appear. And you prove to yourself that nothing, not time, not money, not circumstances, can stop someone who refuses to quit. Your mind is like a muscle. If you train it, it gets stronger. If you neglect it, it gets weaker. The way you think, the way you react, the way you handle challenges, all of it depends on the conditioning of your mind. And just like with physical training, the results don't come overnight, but over time with consistent effort, weak thinking leads to weak results. When the mind isn't trained, it looks for the easy way out. It gives into fear, doubt, and hesitation. It focuses on problems instead of solutions. It gets discouraged at the first sign of difficulty. But when you train your mind, everything changes. You develop resilience, you develop focus, you develop the ability to push forward even when things get tough. Now, just like lifting weight strengthens the body, the right habits strengthen the mind. Reading, learning, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, that's mental training. Facing discomfort, stepping into uncertainty, doing things that stretch you, that's how you build mental toughness, because every time you push past fear, you're training your mind to be stronger than your excuses. Most people wait until life forces them to toughen up. They wait until adversity hits before they start strengthening their mindset. But champions don't wait for the storm, they prepare for it. They train themselves to handle pressure before the pressure arrives. And that's the key. You don't train when things are easy. You train so that when things get hard, you don't break. Your mind will either be your greatest asset or your biggest limitation. And the difference is in how you train it. Strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in challenge. So stretch your mind, challenge your thinking, and condition yourself to handle more, to think bigger, and to push harder, because the stronger your mind, the stronger your life. The people around you shape you more than you realize. Their mindset, their habits, their conversations, all of it influences how you think, how you act, and ultimately how far you go. If you want to build strength in your life, you have to surround yourself with strength. It's easy to stay in the wrong crowd. It's comfortable, but comfort doesn't lead to growth. If you spend time with people who complain, make excuses, and settle for less, sooner or later that thinking rubs off on you, not because you intend for it to happen, but because environment is powerful. You start adopting their habits, you start lowering your standards, and before you know it, you've talked yourself out of the life you truly want. Now, the opposite is also true. Spend time around people who push themselves, who aim higher, who take responsibility for their lives, and something amazing happens. Their energy lifts you, their discipline challenges you, their conversations inspire you to think bigger. Suddenly, excuses don't make sense anymore because you're surrounded by people who find a way instead of finding a reason not to try. Take a look at the people in your life. Do they encourage you to grow, or do they keep you stuck? Do they challenge you to be better, or do they pull you into negativity? This isn't about cutting people off or looking down on anyone. It's about being intentional with your environment. It's about making sure the voices you listen to are leading you in the right direction. If you don't have strong people around you right now, go find them, read their books, listen to their messages, seek out mentors who think differently, because strength isn't built alone. It's built in an environment where growth is the expectation, not the exception. When you surround yourself with strength, you naturally become stronger. And when you become stronger, there's no limit to what you can achieve. There are two kinds of people in life: those who take control and those who believe life is controlling them. The difference between the two isn't luck, background, or circumstance, it's mindset. When you see yourself as a victim, you give away your power. You allow external factors, your past, other people, or unfortunate events to dictate your future. But when you take responsibility, you regain control over your choices, actions, and outcomes. It's true that life can be unfair, challenges arise that are beyond your control, but staying in a victim mentality doesn't change those challenges, it only reinforces them. Blaming others or external conditions might feel justified in the moment, but it does nothing to improve the situation. In fact, it keeps you stuck. Progress begins the moment you shift your focus from what happened to you to what you can do about it. This shift requires a new perspective. Instead of saying this always happens to me, ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of dwelling on problems, start seeking solutions. Instead of waiting for someone else to change your situation, take action. Action to improve it. When you do this consistently, you develop resilience, confidence, and the ability to shape your future regardless of past difficulties. Every successful person has faced setbacks, failures, and obstacles. What separates them from those who remain stuck is their decision to take ownership of their lives. They refuse to let circumstances define them. They refuse to be controlled by past mistakes, unfair situations, or limiting beliefs. They focus on what they can control: their mindset, their actions, and their ability to adapt and grow. Taking responsibility isn't about ignoring hardships or pretending difficulties don't exist. It's about acknowledging reality while choosing to rise above it. When you stop playing the victim and start taking ownership, you move from being powerless to powerful. You stop waiting for change and start creating it. And that's when real transformation begins. Mental toughness is the ability to keep going when others stop. It's what separates those who merely start from those who finish. It's what allows you to stay committed to your vision even when the excitement wears off and the road gets difficult. Without it, the first setback will knock you down with it. No obstacle is strong enough to hold you back. Life will test you. There will be moments when things don't go as planned, when the results don't come as fast as you'd like, when you feel like giving up. This is where mental toughness makes the difference. Weak thinking looks for an escape. It looks for excuses, distractions, or an easy way out. But those who succeed have trained themselves to stay the course. They know that setbacks aren't stop signs. They're just part of the process. Toughness is built in adversity. You don't develop it when everything is easy. You develop it when you push through resistance, when you refuse to quit despite discomfort, when you show up and do the work even when you don't feel like it. Every time you overcome a challenge, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought, and the more you prove that, the tougher you become. It's not about ignoring difficulties, it's about deciding that no difficulty is bigger than your commitment. It's about making up your mind that no matter how hard it gets, you're going to keep moving forward. Success is never about avoiding struggle. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't back down from it. The good news is mental toughness isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you can develop. It starts with small decisions, pushing yourself a little further when you want to stop, keeping a promise to yourself when it would be easier to quit, choosing discipline over comfort, commitment over convenience. Every time you do this, you strengthen your mind, and every time you strengthen your mind, you get one step closer to the life you want. The words you speak shape the life you live. What you say about yourself, your abilities, and your future either builds you up or tears you down if you constantly speak doubt, limitation, and failure. Don't be surprised when those things show up in your life. But if you speak strength, confidence, and possibility, you'll start to see new doors open. Most people don't realize the power of their own words. They say things like, I'm not good at this, I never catch a break, or success is for other people, not me. And without knowing it, they're reinforcing their own limitations. Your mind listens to what you say, speak weakness, and you feel weak, speak struggle, and life feels like a struggle, but speak strength, and you'll start to feel stronger. Speaking strength doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to make negativity your reality. It means that when you face a challenge, instead of saying, I can't do this, you say, I'll figure this out. Instead of saying, this is too hard, you say, this is making me stronger. It means replacing doubt with determination and fear with faith words. Create momentum. Negative words drain energy, but strong words build it. Have you ever noticed how speaking confidence makes you feel more confident, or how speaking possibilities makes you see more opportunities? This isn't just positive thinking. It's about training your mind to see solutions instead of roadblocks. If you want a strong life, start with strong language. Cut out words of defeat and replace them with words of growth. Speak strength into your goals, your work, and your future, because when you consistently affirm what's possible, your mind begins to believe it. And when your mind believes it, your actions follow. That's when transformation happens. That's when you step into the life you were meant to live. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. If you accept average, you'll get average. If you tolerate excuses, you'll live with excuses. But the moment you decide to raise your standards, to expect more from yourself, to demand excellence in your habits, your thinking, and your actions, that's the moment everything begins to change. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they settle. They settle for just getting by. They settle for a job they don't love, for relationships that drain them, for habits that keep them stuck. And over time, that becomes their normal. But here's the truth. Your life will never rise above the standards you set. If you expect more, you'll get more. If you demand better, you'll become better. Growth isn't automatic. It doesn't happen just because you get older, and it doesn't happen just because you want it to. Growth is intentional. It's something you commit to, something you pursue, something you work on every single day. And the moment you stop growing, you stop improving. The moment you stop improving, you start falling behind. The difference between those who achieve and those who struggle isn't talent. It's commitment to growth. Some people go through life just going through the motions. They wake up, go to work, come home, and repeat the same routine day after day, never stretching themselves, never learning, never pushing past their current limits. And then they wonder why their life never changes. But those who commit to growth every day think differently. They don't wait for the right moment to learn. They don't wait until life forces them to change. They take control of their development. They read, they study, they challenge their own thinking. They seek out mentors, invest in skills, and push themselves into new experiences. They know that every day is an opportunity to get better, and they refuse to waste it. Now, growth isn't always comfortable. It requires effort, discipline, and sometimes discomfort. It means step into uncertainty and doing things you've never done before. But that's exactly where transformation happens. You don't grow by staying in your comfort zone. You grow by stretching. beyond it by facing new challenges, by taking action even when it feels uncomfortable. Some people think success is about luck, but it's not. It's about who you become. It's about the skills you develop, the mindset you cultivate, and the habits you build, and that happens through daily growth. So ask yourself, what am I learning today? What am I improving? How am I stretching myself? Because if you can answer those questions every single day, you won't have to chase success. It will come to you. Growth is a choice. It doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen just because time passes. Some people live the same year over and over again, never improving, never learning, never stretching beyond where they are. And then there are those who commit to growth, who wake up every day determined to be better than they were yesterday. That's the difference between a life of progress and a life of regret. Committing to growth means you take responsibility for your own development. You don't wait for circumstances to change, you change yourself. You don't wait for the perfect opportunity, you prepare for it. You seek out knowledge, challenge your own thinking, and push yourself into new experiences, because the truth is life will only give you what you are prepared to handle. If you want more, you have to become more. Now, growth isn't always easy. It requires effort, discipline, and sometimes discomfort. It means breaking old habits that no longer serve you. It means stepping into uncertainty, learning new skills, and pushing past the fear of failure. But every time you grow, you expand your potential. Every time you stretch yourself, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Some people wait for motivation to get started, but commitment comes first. Growth isn't about what you feel like doing, it's about what you've decided to do. Read every day, learn something new. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Do the hard things that others avoid, because growth isn't an event, it's a lifestyle. The best investment you can make is in yourself. When you grow, everything around you grow. Your confidence increases, your opportunities expand, and your life begins to take on new meaning. The key is consistency. One day of growth won't change your life, but years of daily improvement will transform you into a person who can achieve anything. So make the commitment, show up for your own growth every day, and watch how your life rises to match it. You change yourself. You don't wait for the perfect opportunity. You prepare for it. You make learning a priority. You challenge your own thinking. You seek out new experiences that stretch your comfort zone. Because here's the truth. Your success will never exceed your personal growth. If you want more, you must become more. Most people want better results, but they don't want to do the work of becoming better. They want more income, but won't take the time to learn new skills. They want better relationships, but won't work on their communication or personal discipline. They want to be more confident, but won't challenge the doubts that hold them back. Growth requires effort, and effort is what separates those who stay stuck from those who move forward. Now, growth isn't always comfortable. It requires discipline. It requires you to break old habits and replace them with new ones. It requires you to step into uncertainty, to embrace challenges, and to be willing to fail and learn from it. But the reward is worth it, because the more you grow, the more opportunities you create for yourself.